Now that you've changed your mindset from being an employee to an entrepreneur, we need to start looking at product ideation techniques and ways to come up with ideas for your e-commerce companies. One of the first techniques I personally used and I personally preach by is mind mapping. It's something we've heard throughout the years, something we could have heard when we were even younger in elementary, high school, and university. But mind mapping is a very effective technique to get your creative juices flowing and find an idea or a product that goes with a passion or interest that you're actually passionate about and you'll be excited to work with throughout the years. So we do have a mind mapping worksheet, D0.2, that explains and provides a whole template for you to use. And we're going to go through a couple examples together and go through the mind mapping process to help you find an idea for your business and your product. So when starting mind mapping, looking at the quadrants in front of you, I always suggest to look at the passions and interests or think about the things in your life that you're just interested in. We want to think about things that are going to keep you motivated, keep you excited, keep you going back to work not as an employee, but as somebody that's doing something of passion. So the first quadrant you can see are what are the activities, hobbies, or industries I genuinely care about? What are things in your daily life you care about? What are the hobbies that you gravitate towards? What are the activities that you find yourself enjoying, but you could also build upon, make money off of, and improve people's life? Serve the people around you in a way that you enjoy. The second quadrant would be what activities, hobbies, do you spend your free time on? Where is your time naturally and already going to? And how can we build upon that time to do something more effective and productive for our lives? The third quadrant is what industries or topics do you often read or learn about? What are topics that you find yourself exposed to on a regular basis? What articles do you find yourself reading, more interested about? What daily updates or news updates do you care about, and what categories of life? This will keep you looking at the more newest techniques and looking at the newest news on those different categories. The fourth quadrant is going to be what are the communities or groups that you're a part of, and what is that particular focus of that group? Maybe you're going to be gaining some very particular and specific insight by being part of certain communities in life. Maybe by being part of that community, you can bridge it to another community that you're a part of, or another aspect of your life that you see as lacking, or could be built upon or more efficiently done. So for each of those quadrants, looking at the orange boxes, we think about 4 major subsections. First, we have to think about the common challenges and problems in that topic, and then their solutions. Then we have to look at the common industry complaints or common complaints you hear around you in that topic and their potential solutions. And then we can also think about the personal challenges and frustrations that you feel being a part of that hobby, that group, or whenever you read that specific type of article or newsletter, and what are certain solutions that could solve that. And then also, what are the newcomer barriers and barriers to entry for companies or people or any kind of organization in that topic or in that hobby or in that community, and what are the solutions that can help them enter it more efficiently? So to help you guys out a little bit, we're actually going to go through an example that's shown in the example of D0.2. And for reference, all the examples we're going to be going through, I took the idea of building a very sustainable, certain type of wood furniture company. And we're going to see how we built from that idea through all the sections of MFP12, starting out with mind mapping. And then in our second product ideation of the Scamper method, which we're going to get into in the second video. So what are the activities, hobbies, or industries I generally care about myself? I like woodworking and carpentry. I like sustainable farming and different sustainable techniques and industries. I like AI and artificial intelligence and how it's making things more efficient. And I like construction and engineering. I am originally a civil engineer. So what are the common challenges and problems? In my specific subsections, I was looking at the woodworking and carpentry so I can get into the furniture industry a little bit more. So when you're talking about wood or handmade furniture, you're going to be talking about high material cost and intense competition. It's no secret, there's a lot of people that make furniture in the world, so you do need to stand out. But what are some solutions? I could use certain specific sustainable reclaimed materials. I can use higher quality materials to kind of sieve out the competition coming from major factories abroad. I can make unique designs or high quality craftsmanship to help me stand out. These are all aspects that could help me be a little bit more differentiating in my idea. Looking at common industry complaints, especially after times where we have pandemics and endemics, we will have supply chain disruptions that we do need to take into account in the future. So I have supply chain disruptions and I have environmental concerns because this is a physical product. It is taking wood, so we can talk about forestry and trees and environmental concerns people may have in the production of my product. So to go around that and to solve it, first, supply chain issues, I'll look at diversifying and having a mitigation plan. I'll look at eco-friendly practices for my furniture, or using that reclaimed wood that I've already mentioned in my first solution. This will help me use materials that were maybe meant for a landfill, reclaiming, upcycling, and using it for newer products that can serve more people in this world, and not having to take new materials from existing forestry. Personal challenges and frustrations that I have when it comes to furniture, woodworking, carpentry. I'm not that creative sometimes, so I do have a creative block. And I have a work-life balance that I need to find more time for my personal life. These are just things on my end that do frustrate me sometimes and the people around me. So to solve that, I will research and look at inspirations from different competitors, different sources, maybe different cultures, different countries, and find more creative designs to things that I can offer locally. And just on a personal level, I will have to establish boundaries. I will have to commit more time to my personal life, maybe my family, maybe my relationship, just to avoid any burnout and be able to stay effective in my e-commerce business, and especially in the beginning foundation of my e-commerce business. The last barrier we have to look at is just the newcomer barriers for furniture companies or woodworking and carpentry companies. It's going to be that limited capital. It will be a little bit difficult to get into a e-commerce company that has physical product when you need inventory, when you have to build out a supply chain. And there is going to be a brand recognition. So I can show in that ocean of brands, an ocean of existing competition and furniture around the world. Some solutions to that. I could look at crowdfunding. I could look at grants for sustainable materials or sustainable businesses. And I could look at other financing options that are more directed towards something that I'm offering. In my case, I'm looking at reclaimed materials, environmentally friendly materials, and upcycling and recycling. There are many different financing sources that care about sustainability and environmentally friendly practices that could be willing to help somebody like me. And then in terms of brand recognition, I will have to make unique designs. I will have to do strong messaging and really portray what I feel and why I built this brand and how I am different. And in my case, I will be working off that sustainable and eco-friendly aspects. So we have been through the mind mapping process. We did go through the major sections and the major quadrants, building off of your passions and interests. And we did look at the major concerns and built together some solutions to those concerns to help you product ideate and start your business together.